Hello everyone and welcome back to July Watercolor Month. This is day 3 of my 31 days of watercolor challenge where I will be painting this adorable little cottage surrounded by flowers and leaves. So grab your watercolor paints and let's get started. To start with, I am using a 300 GSM watercolor paper and I'm lightly going to sketch the cottage that I want to paint along with some little guided lines for the flowers and leaves that I want to surround it with. So take your time and do the drawing. You can even trace any picture from the internet if you get. And after that, I will be starting to wet the background first. I'm not completely dragging everything. I'm just lightly dabbing the water around the house. And then I will be using a light wash of blue, just using the dabbing motion to put the paint because I wanted that cloudy effect. Once I'm happy with the blue, I am going to use a little piece of tissue and just pick some color at random places to give it a more natural look of the clouds. And after that, I will be adding a little more water towards the bottom part and add the green. I want the blue and the green to be mixed a little bit so we have a very smooth background. I smudged the color a little in the foreground and then splatter some green dots around it, and we will let it dry. Once it is dry, I'm going to use this brick red color which I used red and brown mixed together, and I'm just coloring the shed of this cottage with this color. To the same color, I will be adding a little more brown and just drop somewhere at random places in the shed to give that vintagey old look. And you can use any patterns in the house. I just made some lines while the color was still wet. And then I used buff titanium mixed with a little bit of brown to do the base color for this cottage, and I'm covering it with a flat wash of color and then picking it up a little bit around the windows and the door. To the rocks in the front, I'm very using a very light wash of this brown and black mixed together, and I am just making some circular shapes for the rocks. This shouldn't be very perfect because they can be in a natural shape. And then I will be going in back with this with the brick red color and add more details to the top of the cottage. Here I use the same brown shade and gave some shadows in the base of the cottage by just using the same color and giving it a second layer of the same color. I'm using a sap green color and I am just going to make some lines for the bushes around the house and then slowly add tiny little leaves in different directions because we want to give it a very um, wild bushes kind of a look, so they don't have to be very organized. And otherwise as well, leaves are never in any particular direction or shape, so go ahead and make big and small leaves. Add brown if you want to the green to give it a little more, warmer tone. And after that, I will be using a pink to add some little tiny flowers on these bushes. moving back to the rocks, I am using a darker value of the black, and I'm just giving some very tiny reflections around the rocks and just smudge it around the lines that I just drew, just with water to give that shadowed effect. Adding light blue to the windows. So here you can use any colors that you wish, because this is not a realistic house, it's just a painting. So use whatever you like and use as many details as you want. Here I used a darker value of brown and gave some more details to the door and the windows. So in this part, I am going to give the final details to the whole house. This is a very dark brown mixed with black, and I'm just going to give some lines to the house to define the shape, sorry, the cottage. And also I will be using a Sharpie to give even thinner lines like we use in ink and wash cards. So I'm just going and using it, defining little details on the windows, and similarly I will be using the white jelly roll pen to give some highlights. And with this, we have finished our adorable watercolor cottage. I hope you enjoyed this painting and found this relaxing and inspiring as well. If you did, then please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss on the future videos. And I will see you guys with my day 4 watercolor video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.